Hi, it's Dr. Doug Curtis.
And Missy Curtis from Dyslexic and Unstoppable. Our mission is to help dyslexics rediscover their inner power.
That's right, and this is the third in our series for parents whose child is struggling and they really feel stuck, right? And this one is one step at a time. So how is one step at a time going to help somebody dyslexic who's struggling?
That was a good lesson. I mean, we always talk about how we've been taking personal development classes for how many years? 10, 12?
Yeah.
Forever now, right? And I love those because they put you in positions that you know, when you think you can't do something, and like there was an exercise with the ladder, right, going up, and we're the two of us, and like, we can't figure it out, we're too little, and oh, really, you're the ladder, whatever.
Right.
But anyways, so one of the exercises we had to do is go up this mountain with all these challenges and all that stuff, and when you change your mindset, right, and you focus on the positive, you can figure it out. Well, how? One step at a time. You go. How do you go up the mountain? One step at a time. And then there's an obstacle. You stop. You figure it out. You go to the next thing. You go to the next thing. You go to the next thing. And we physically had to do that with all these obstacles. And eventually, you can see clearly because life. There's challenges, there's difficulties, there's obstacles all the time. It will never not be there, right? So how can we change, instead of saying, oh my God, something happened, we have to, it's like a big drama. Okay, it's part of life. How am I going to deal with this to the next one, to the next one, to the next one, in a positive way, right? Well, the same thing with dyslexia.
Right, exactly. And exactly, because you may look at it and say, well, I can help my son with these, or my daughter with the reading, the writing, the spelling, the math, the organization, all this stuff, and it's over. Pick one. Pick one, whatever it is. And there's a number of ways you can do that. You could say, I'm going to pick the one that's going to give my child a win right away. Because then, if we can do one thing, get him good at that, he'll feel great about himself, he'll be able to move on to the next thing. That's one way to do it. Another way to say is, I'm going to pick the thing that's going to make the biggest impact on everything else, right? And focus on that. Get some wins in that area, and then have it snowball from there. But again, it's you focus on that one thing, and then you move on to the next thing, and then you move on to the next thing, and you just take one step at a time, and you just keep going one step at a time, and eventually you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, we made so much progress.
How can we address it? Now we have some resources. Now we have some, communications with the school. We have collaborations, and we just, as you go along, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Right? It's just, but you have to do it one step at a time.
Yeah, and the last part of that, I think, is reach out to people who can help you. Right? That's why we're doing this. Right? That's why, because we've been through it. We've been from the end of
denial to frustration or frustration to denial to
Right, exactly. But from the end of first grade, with almost having our son having to repeat it, to going to the daily, all those classes, the private tutoring classes, to working on his spelling, to working on his speech, to every part of it, the nutrition, all of those things. We've been through it all, and so that's why we're doing this, because we know that it's possible. So the last part of it, like I was saying, is reach out to people, reach out to us, contact us. I'll leave our email down below. Just email us at info@Dyslexic and Unstoppable with your questions or problems or concerns or whatever. We'll do whatever we can.